Is this live? I think I'm live. Welcome to the Gateway, your compass to the magical waters of spirit communication, broadcast live from United Public Radio Network 107.7 FM New Orleans. I'm your host, C.L. Thomas. I hope you guys had a really good weekend. This weekend, I went on a little road trip up the mountainside. There's this place called Wheeler's Pass, and it's an off-road trail that goes all the way up the side of the mountain near Mount Charleston. And on the top of that, there's a lot of desert sage that grows. So I went with some friends just to hike around and collect some of that. It was a good time. So I hope you guys had fun too. But as I was wrapping the sage, I was thinking about witchcraft and everyday people. So when you think of witches, you think of ancient rituals, you think of medieval influences and Salem witchcraftery and people being hung, and you see people in black goth gowns, but that just isn't the case. A lot of us are just normal, everyday people that you would never know in a million years that they're a witch. Joining me are ladies from a new witch coven, Lotus Witch Paranormal Research. They are Betsy Williams and Annie Waters. Both of them are everyday people. Our discussion is the misconceptions of modern-day witches and everyday spell work that the average person can do. So let me pull them on here. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing well.
Hi,
How are
everybody.
you?
Thank you guys so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start off. Tell me about you guys. How did you guys end up getting down the paranormal path, and tell me about how you got into witchcraft. Hello, Joe. And what exactly is Lotus?
Which one you want to
Lotus
do,
Witch
Betsy?
Go,
I can
go
start
ahead,
it.
Amy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, each of us have been involved, interested, what have you, in the paranormal since we were young. I've had experiences. She's had experiences. We both stumbled upon each other in this wonderful world of social media and found ourselves on Facebook. Met, with common interests, common groups that we like. We are both taking classes. I've been taking classes with Sarah Lemos for 2 years now, but Betsy is now doing it as well. So we started talking. It's really interesting. She and I come from kind of a different thing in the sense of I believe witchcraft. I'm incredibly Christian. I believe all that good stuff. At the same time, I'm going to go off on a skew with it. So I think we bring a lot to the modern way. But yeah, we just stumbled upon each other. And Betsy has so much knowledge. I've always been interested, always been drawn to. Hi, I like rocks. And I very much believe I like rocks. So we have a lot of I like rocks. We have a lot of common interests in that. And so when we said Lotus Paranormal and Research, we are the first ones to tell everyone, I don't know anything. We're learning. We want to know. There's so much out there. So that's research.
And two, Lotus Witch, this is more or less my favorite part of our group because, as you say, the word witch has a stipulation to it. We wear black. We're all into dark stuff, and we just, blah, blah, blah. However, when you look at the lotus, it's a flower that is grown in mud. And when the sun hits it, it blooms, it becomes this beautiful flower without any residue or, any muck on it. And so for us, we're rebirthing the witch and giving, this word, the beauty, the resilience, the rebirth it needs to show everyone we're not just dark and hateful. We're very light and love and use everyday, you know,
The
things
earth,
in this
the
world
earth, earth.
for, use. So,
Right.
so hence Lotus Witch Paranormal. Yes, we do investigate and research, but we also look and research at what we're investigating and make sure that, what we're seeing and experiencing is actually there. So hence the whole name. There's a true meaning behind it all.
Mhm.
When we look at our culture and the idea of a witch, we get our ideas a lot from pulp culture, like the depiction of the green hag, such as the
Mhm.
Wicked Witch of the East from The Wizard of
Right.
Oz. I think that's probably the first movie image that we have of a witch, if I'm not mistaken. Can you
Mhm.
talk a little bit? You already
Probably.
have,
I
but
think so. I think so. Yeah.
can you talk a little bit about what a witch looks like and some of the misconceptions of what she is?
Well, I mean, how many people pass by me daily and they don't realize I'm a witch? Um, and that for people when you say witch, oh my gosh, I mean, the eyeballs get bigger than saucers. But for most, they're like, really? That's so interesting. I want to learn more. I don't push my beliefs onto anyone. If they ask, I'll give them an answer. I'm I'm the modern witch today, we're not afraid. That's what I'm trying to say. We're not afraid to help. We're not afraid to answer questions. We're not afraid to give advice if you ask. Most witches I know, we stay within our coven and ask one another, is this a good idea or would this be better? What's your thoughts? That type of workmanship. That's what a modern witch is today versus the all black, gotta wear a hat, you wear the pointy boots. I mean, yes, I do have a broom, but I just love
Is that a
broom.
gas right now, honey? But the whole thing is how many people do you think you walk by a day? Seriously, how many people do you walk by a day? One out of, you know what I mean? A
Mhm,
lot. And I, I'm, I hate saying the word trendy, but there's a lot of recognition now in witchcraft in the sense of a Mother Earth, Mother Earth,
mhm.
and everything she gives us. And, we forget about those kind of things. We really forget about the simple, beautiful things. And if you really think about it and apply yourself, the energy is outrageously wonderful.
One of the listeners out there, Joe Fox, had made some comments about he would love to hang out with a real witch for 1 month, both day and night. I'm not
A
sure what
month.
he means by
I'm
that.
not either.
A month. Hey, you want to do 28 days haunted with it? We could do 28 days haunted in a haunted house with a big witch house and all that. We can network,
Now,
network.
don't get me wrong. There are several types of witches. We have the
Here's my
true
guy.
Wiccans, that
Yes,
practice the Wicca
yes,
way every day, and then you have your bigger witches who are into a little more darker stuff, which I'll be honest, back in the day, I slipped right into it. And it took me a while to get out, quite a while. But when I did and I saw the light, it's so much more beautiful, it's so enlightening to learn that kindness and good-heartedness, putting that forth and manifesting that and putting that intention towards your spells makes everything 100% better.
I have
I'm a
another
big
question.
believer. Go.
I have
No,
another
please.
question for you guys, but we'll get back to what you just said, Betsy, because that's on my list
Okay.
of things to ask you guys, and I really want to get into when it's appropriate to procure dark magic and things like that. But we'll get into that in a minute. I want to ask, because I know, Betsy, you live in the South, which is very hardcore, the Bible Belt. I've
It is.
lived in Nashville for 15 years. I know. I've kept my life on the down low for the longest time. Annie, I'm not sure where you live. Do you live in
I live
somewhere in the Midwest?
I live in Iowa. I'm right in the
You live
Midwest. I'm right smack in the middle of the country.
So I don't know anything about Iowa and what the culture's like there. I can imagine maybe a lot of farmers or something. I have no idea.
We've got
But-
a lot of down home, we strong beliefs. Yeah, and we are very yes. Not as much as the South, I'm sure, but the more north you get, I hate that one. Forgive me. The more north you get, this is my thought process, the more Catholic you get. So I just like think of it that way. It's true. I'm sorry. It's kind of true. But yeah,
it's
I
kind
live
of
in
true
Iowa.
on the northeastern side too. But how do your peers, like, how are you guys accepted as witches in your communities? Is it a problem? Are people accepting? Andy, especially you, like, how do you mix Christianity in with witchery?
Okay. I love this question because people, you can't do that. Yes, I can. Yes, I am a huge believer in God and Jesus Christ is my savior. Don't doubt that. What does God do? He creates everything, doesn't he? Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Everything we do, everything we find. Do you know what I mean? Everything. Witchcraft is there for us to use. I believe that. And so, people, no, I truly believe that we were given these gifts of the earth, of my pretty rocks, my, these are gifts. Why wouldn't you think it's attached to that? I believe, now, don't get me wrong. I'm not in church casting spells or anything. No. But that's how I figured that witchcraft is here. I mean, people have to remember certain things like decorating your Christmas tree. I have reminded a few people about decorating your Christmas tree. Things that we do all the time that you don't even think
that
about.
are actually mm-hmm.
It's true. The salt, little silly things. So that's where
every major holiday
go ahead.
out there is a pagan holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stems from pagan.
Oh no, she's breaking up again. You're breaking up. You're breaking up, darling. I know she's talking about all of the major holidays and how they coincide. There she is.
Yeah.
Are you back?
Sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on with my internet.
It is quite all right.
It could be my friend. It could be my friend. I have a friend whenever I am on anything who darken it. You'll see. Anyway, please go ahead. Major holidays.
Major holidays are mostly pagan. When you look at the historical and traditions and stuff like that, they all come from some kind of pagan belief that the Christianity had taken over at some point to turn into Christianity, pretty much.
And so that's where, people have to remember that truthfully, it's our history. It's our basis.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? You can't,
right.
I'm sorry. I believe that it's here, and the energy is amazing and outrageous, and I don't know why everyone doesn't think about it, but that's okay. That's okay.
What about you, Betsy? How are you? How do your peers accept you?
Well,
Is it a problem? Is it a problem?
I've moved, in the last 4 years to two different states. Colorado was very opening, they wanted to know everything. I get to Alabama and I'm being told, don't say anything. So it was a very different, two different types of culture shocks. One very welcoming, one very hush hush. Now that I'm back home in Arkansas, um, everybody pretty much knew I was. It's just me coming out and admitting it and being honest about it. Um, I do have a few of my friends' parents who are like, oh my gosh, that's just evil. That's the devil. Don't believe anything she says. And that's okay. I understand because they're older and they come from a different time era. And, some are European, true European, and it really scares them. And that's fine. I understand. It's not like I'm going to be mad and, make a voodoo doll and pin them. No, I understand. I don't jump to conclusions. I don't like to judge. I want you to do you while I do me. And that's pretty much worked out very well since I've been home. So I pretty much
A
have
lot,
open arms.
a lot of people when they see like pentagrams and things of the, some of the tools and symbolism that witches use often for like protection spells and whatever else they're doing, blessings, they're often misconstrued as something evil. Like when
Correct.
someone sees a pentagram, they automatically think, oh, that's satanic. For
Mhm.
instance, just the other day, I saw it on social media. There was obviously someone that was practicing Wicca, and they left a pentagram on the person's grave with some flowers, and it was obviously, a blessing, ritual, protection spell for their
Right.
loved one.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
but the misconceptions there was people were automatically posting, "Oh, that's satanic. Should we be worried?" The person on there who came across it, I think they said that they actually removed it or something like that. But yeah, so what are some of the tools that you guys use that may be misconstrued, and what are they actually? Like the pentagram, for instance.
I do have a pentagram with some evil eyes that I hang in my window. Um, at my at what I call the residence inn, my place of residence. Um, and I do have, of course, my witch's bells on my doors,
Mhm.
which the pentagram and the evil eye are to help ward off negativity, keep you protected, help bring in, just a lot of positivity. So that has kept a lot of mystery that's been going on at the house out of my bedroom. So there's that. I also have, I do make certain spells, which I use my pedestal and mortar. Um, so I've got a lot of little implements that I use and put them to use at times when I can.
And I believe education is key. Please ask me anything and if I say I don't know, let's find out. The pentagram, explain. Well, if it's upside down, you know what I mean? Have that conversation on why these things are. You
Right.
know, slowly my grandchildren, they ask me certain things. My granddaughter has more crystals, and she only wants the real ones on her bracelets, and she believes because she feels. It's you know, so many people have that 666.
Mm-hmm. The mark of the
No,
beast.
no, no,
Yeah.
no. No, it isn't. You know, there are so many numbers. Sometimes people call them angel numbers. But you know, some things like that. And it's people. How many of us always? I'm 1111. I constantly see 1111. These numbers, you know, Google it, books, find out, educate, because not everything is evil. Not everything, you know. When I here's the other one. With all of these things, the biggest thing that I believe is important: intention. Intention. I say whenever
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
am, I will, you know, ground myself down, which basically means I'm connecting to Earth. I'm in my mind, you know, I'm calming. I have whatever. Usually, it's like my rocks or what have you, and the thing that enlighten love, that enlighten love only. You know, keep it the way they're listening. They're all listening. And so intention speaking really means something. So, you know, as I said, I don't want anything that I'm communicating with, meditating with, whatever, to stick with me that isn't a nice thing. So intention, I believe, is huge, huge. Why do you want witchcraft? Why do you like witchcraft? Psychic abilities. Where do you think those things? You know, people used to think that, oh, witchcraft. Oh, isn't that horrible? Salem witch trials just
Mm-hmm.
blows me away. So
Yeah.
it's just it's I believe intention is a lot. And my intention with this, with Lotus Witch, or with just learning herbs, crystals, certain things you can do around the house, certain things we do every day, certain, you know, things that we add, herbs, crystals, cards. You know, these are not things. These are things that you probably have in your kitchen already. Um, you know, these were $10. These are oracle cards. I use these. I like using these. But people will think, what am I? Is this horrible? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, you know, those things we still have. We still have those things. They're all here. But oh my God, do you think the Salem witch trials? Do you think that was? How do you think that transpired? Not the trials themselves, but the connotation as it kept growing about what witches are.
It was
You know, the bad.
a fear factor. A lot of fear.
And
So,
people,
and
you
it was
know, it's like a
what kind of
control
made
thing.
it?
Fear is easier
Yeah.
to control than anything, you know. So maybe, yeah. I mean, to think, I frankly think that, and forgive me, but unfortunately, it's true. I frankly think a lot of people, not everyone, a lot of people now are interested in witchcraft or want to learn about it because, as I said earlier, it's kind of trendy. You know, unfortunately, the things that we love, uh, it's great that people want to learn about it, but intention, intention. Some people will
Right.
learn to, you know what I mean? But don't, you know, as you were saying, people will come into it for the wrong reasons.
Yes, they will.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So there are different kinds of witches, and it really depends on your practice where you live, because the average person would use this materials that are available to them, right? Like I live out in the desert, So I collect a lot of desert sage, and I use Joshua tree. I use juniper. That's pretty abundant here. Rosemary, things like that. How is it different for you guys? And does it really matter which herbs you're using and stones? And is it more about intention, like you just said?
Betsy?
Well, for me, I've got a plethora of flowers I can choose from and use in different spells or rituals. Um, like, daisies or dandelions. I have several, but I like to go in nature and get what I need versus the store. There are some things I can't get in nature, but for the most part, I get all my herbs from nature or I grow them. Um, now, um, I forgot what I was going to say. I'm so sorry.
Well, I'm here in Iowa. We grow everything. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I do not like getting my crystals, and that's where I'm going to go.
See,
You
I
can
live
go
in a
on Amazon. No, don't do that.
see,
You
I
know,
live in
I
a
went
state
I
where I
went
can
raw
go
pounding.
to.
Look at that. Look at that puppy.
Excuse
Hold on.
me. Now, I live in a
Look at
state
that
where I
puppy.
can go to 38 different to 40 different cities and find all type of
Mm-hmm.
crystals,
Yep.
different, like peridot and all that. I can go up to
Yeah.
Murfreesboro and dig for diamonds if I wanted to. I
It's
come
true.
from a very enriched state, and now that I'm back, I'm learning
Yeah,
to
you do.
utilize it. Like my pine needles. There's some spells you need some pine needles. You
Whenever
can make
she and
it.
I
What do you
travel,
use for
we
needles?
always look at the birds. We always watch what birds follow us, don't we, Betsy?
Yeah.
We always watch what birds follow us.
What do I use?
And this
What
one,
crystal?
I was going to say, as far as crystals, buying them online, check it out. I went and I bought a geode, right? I got a geode. Big old rock. Just a rock. Where did I get this? Colorado? And cracked it open. You never know
Wow.
what treasures you will find inside. And
If someone
that's what I mean.
came
The
to
earth.
you
People think,
and
it's just a rock.
yes,
It's not just a rock.
someone they're interested, would that be okay?
What? I'm sorry.
Because they are a client. If you what
Someone
cast a
comes to you
love
and wants a
spell that
love.
If
benefits you
someone
is
comes
a
to you and they want a love spell and they cast a love spell on someone that they are interested in, would that be okay?
I
So I guess
Well, I
personally
would give them love spells, wouldn't you, Betsy? Give them the
yeah
information.
I personally don't do spells for anyone. I don't want to take anyone's free will away, nor mine. So I usually give advice, or if another witch comes to me and asks, then I will give that person my true hearted, no, let's use this instead. For someone that doesn't practice or is just getting into it, I make suggestions and I tell them, you can Google, go get this book, you can do this, you
Google.
can do that. But I never perform a spell per se for love, hate, um, money for someone else.
what if somebody were
I
to
couldn't
come to
cast.
you because their husband is one
I
You
of
know
froze
where
up,
you're
but I
going.
figure Do we want to
What if
finish this sentence?
someone was to come to you because
Are you back, honey?
hello?
Hey,
Yes.
We're here.
okay.
I am so
We're
sorry.
here.
No, what's going on with me
Sorry.
today? The question was, what if somebody were to come to you who had a husband that was cheating on them?
No.
What you wouldn't do a spell for them?
I mean, it depends. Like I said,
depends.
for me, it depends on the person. If you
What do
are
they want?
if you're in my heart and you're in my soul and you're part of my coven, I'm going to make sure you are taken care of. But if it, first of all, I don't have clients. I don't do that.
No, we don't. Nope.
But if it's for someone else and they just walk up and go, "Hey, I know you can do this. Will you do it for me?" Absolutely not.
Got it. So you guys
Absolutely
don't do
not.
love spells or anything for anybody else?
Well, and I don't want to be, I just feel that
Like
this should be their direction. I would
in
like
my
to give them
circle.
it's all within their grasp. Everything. I'm a big believer in manifesting. We've proven it over the last 6-8 months, Betsy and I, from nothing to Lotus in 6 to 8 months. You can make it happen. So I would, we put on our page, and they're so simple. So simple. Just these things that are reaffirming to the earth, reaffirming to, I talk to, and this is where we always hesitate on what are they going to think? Are they you think we're crazy? I talk to my spirit guides. I talk to my, that stuff is real, guys. I believe when she's, can you cast a spell? What's your intent? What do you want? Do you want to feel better? Are you hurting from your husband being a snake? Or are you wanting him to go in front of a car? Doing something bad for him isn't going to help you. It's not going to help you.
Yeah. And like I said, there's that big thing about free will. Like I said, I'm not a practicing Wiccan, but I do go by nature and the law of nature. And whatever you do for someone can either come back to you good or it can come back tenfold bad. And I just would
Karma.
rather not interfere with anyone's free will, theirs, mine, or the nature part of it all. So that's why I do what I do for others and they don't know it. Does that make sense?
It does. Well, that leads
Okay.
me into my next question, Betsy. So when you guys, okay, there's the white witch, and then there's the positive side of witchcraft, and then there's the negative side of witchcraft, right? So you can
Right.
use both evil and good. Is there a time where it is necessary to maybe not so much
Take
put a
care of
hex on
yourself.
somebody, but yes, put a spell
Absolutely.
out there in protection of yourself, which is more on the darker side.
Okay. So I guess it just is all how you perceive it because in my eye, it's taking care of yourself, making sure yourself is put first.
Yeah.
Now, if you're just doing it out of hate and just pure, just evil thoughts, then it's going to come
Intention.
back on you a little bit. But if you're doing it to rid the horrible negativity and the horrible thoughts and words, and you're putting yourself first, I don't have a problem with it. I don't see it as dark. That's just my opinion, though.
No, and you don't play one on TV.
That's
It
right.
is true. I believe there's a time. I can think of times that, whether we're paranormal investigating, we have talks with some spirits, don't we, Betsy? We have some
Yeah.
interesting talks, and in the sense of, okay, where is it? I have a little piece of black tourmaline around here. I carry it with me every investigation. That is for protection. That crystal is a protection crystal. But I also know things that I can say, that I can put into, I call putting into the universe, that will help me. It happens. I don't know how to tell people anymore, but it's real. You can think I'm crazy. I don't care. It's real. If you have pure intent, if you are really, I'm serious. If I casted a dark spell on something, somewhere, something, it's for the protection of myself and others. I'm not gonna go do it because I like your hair better than mine.
Right. Right. It's not, as people would say, the movie The Craft. It's
God.
that really can't happen. I mean, you cast stuff
Yeah.
for yourself in a vain way, it can come back horribly wrong.
And we believe in earth, wind, air, fire, just like they were doing. It's real, guys.
Speaking of The Craft, the one girl in that movie, I watched that movie for the first time a couple weeks ago, and
Really?
the one girl gets into it for the wrong reason, and she invokes, I think it's called some spirit. Is it Mammon? I can't remember the name of the spirit that she invokes, but it's more about power for her, and then she ends up going in and all that kind of stuff. Can that kind of thing actually happen?
I believe so.
Why
I
not?
believe so.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I personally don't summon
What is that
spirits.
phrase? Power.
I don't I don't use Ouija boards.
No.
I don't summon. So, I mean, why not? If we during an investigation can have spirits attached to us, why not? If we summon a spirit or an entity, why not?
We do.
Would it not empower that person that calls upon them? So, yeah, I believe it could happen.
So, Annie, this question's for you. If I were to go into your kitchen right now, what do you have in your kitchen that I could use to cast a spell or for something? Like, say I wanted to, let's see, what if I wasn't feeling well and I wanted to have a good day? How could I use magic in your kitchen?
So
Well,
many
let's
things,
see.
guys. There's not even just one thing. Not even just one. I don't know how. First, you can hit my spice cabinet. Then you can find my herbal teas. Then you can. There are so many things
I
readily
can pull
available
out
that
all
water
of
is
my.
a big. Yeah, you're right,
I've
Bets.
got
Yeah,
moon water. I've got moon water.
got moon water. We
Yeah.
do have those. We do have those. And so, really, it's not what can you find in my kitchen. It's what can't you find. I have a lot of rosemary. I have a lot of rosemary. I don't know if anybody saw that or caught that on the Lotus page. Isn't that a great idea to make your
Brooms.
broom out of rosemary? That's a
Yeah.
great
That's
idea.
a really good idea, actually.
That's a great
Great
idea.
idea.
There are so many things in there that oh my gosh. Salt, sea salt, pepper, whole pepper. You guys go ahead and talk. I'll go ahead and keep naming them off. Cinnamon.
Red chili flakes.
You know what? There was a woman I met just recently, and she grounds cinnamon every morning and then blows it out of her front door. And I couldn't figure out, what does that symbolize?
Okay, so maybe I don't know, because when we are, hi Loki, I'm sorry,
Loki.
that's my boy. That's my boy.
There's my
Because
little-
when we do the salt cinnamon ritual each month, we blow into the home,
Mhm.
or at least
Okay.
I
Yeah.
do. I've come across 2 people now that blow out, and
Mhm.
I don't quite understand why you would blow out, because you're trying to bring in prosperity. You're trying to bring in abundance. You're trying to bring in protection. You see what I'm
Is it
saying? If you're blowing
is
it
it
out,
needing
what you got
education?
going on in your house? If you're blowing it out, you're getting rid of all that.
That's
So
what my sage is.
I that's why I'm like, I don't understand why they would blow out. You need to blow in to keep it all in your home. Now I also put cinnamon sticks above each entry to every door. And I change
Is
those
that to
out
drive
every
the
month.
energy in? Is that to drive the energy in whenever you walk into
Mm-hmm.
your house?
After I blow, now mind you, I'll do a deep cleaning the night before
Yeah.
and make sure the floors are clean, everything's clean, and then in the morning I'll say my salt and cinnamon and intentions, and then I'll come in and place new cinnamon above the doors, so that we keep the protection, we keep the abundance, we keep it flowing. And I do sage, and I'll use different types
Oh,
of sage throughout the month. And I'll cleanse my stones when I do that, just so I can keep the positivity going, because in today's society, there is so much hate, so much negativity. I want to keep my bubble clean. So
Mm-hmm.
that's, and
well,
So
and
that,
I
I
that's
have
the
mean,
my
way
little
it's.
bottle of rose water. Rose water, guys. It's beautiful.
yeah.
Spray it. I sprayed it right before the podcast. Not only does it smell good, and I'm serious, don't you feel better? And they're like, oh my God, she's spraying her face. It's rose water, but it
Some
feels
people
good.
Florida
might not
Guess where
know
I
water.
got
what
it?
exactly
Anybody want
it is.
to take a guess on where I got it? Walmart.
What is rose water? Is it just like the fragrance of a rose that you stick in there?
Bets. Yeah, you can make your own rose water, can't you, Betsy?
Yes.
Or you can do like I did, and she
You just
did,
buy it from Walmart.
and bought it over the thing. But we have done, no, I should get some more rose water. Moon water, sun water, rose water. Help me what I'm missing.
We've got Florida water.
So many, but it really, and
There's
guess
so
what?
many.
The
Right.
earth. It's all about Mother Earth.
But that's me. That's the type of witch I am. I'm a very nature eclectic. I kind of do my own thing. I use nature. I'm very in tune with nature, very in tune with animals.
She is. She's like
So
the
I
animal whisperer.
utilize that
Oh my God.
on
They come to her. We were at Ohio State Reformatory. All these geese kept finding her, these ducks. Then we went to Missouri. I mean, I'm not kidding. They go up to her. She starts walking to them. They walk to her. She's, oh, look at the goats. She goes and looks at they're all over. As I said, birds. We do see a lot of hawks. We see a lot of. She's the animal whisperer. I swear, she's the one who talks to animals in the pair here.
yeah.
Well, have you ever detected a spirit entity that of a lost pet?
I have.
I didn't hear you. What's the
I
question?
have.
I'm sorry.
Have you ever
Has
detected
what's
the
the
entity of a pet that's passed on from one of your clients? Well, you don't have clients,
I
but
see.
no, we
Do I
don't have
ever what?
clients.
No.
See that a pet that's passed on.
Oh yeah.
So okay, so I'm going to just say it. Where I live, my mom. Well, I have like 3.5 acres of land, and
Mhm.
in the middle is our pet cemetery, and we have cats, and we have a dog, three dogs now. But my dog Tank passed away there, and he's buried there. And I'll see him every once in a while running across the front yard, and I'll just smile and say, "Have fun." Um, every once in a while, at my one of my best friends' home, I'll see her big red dog trying to make it in and out of the hole over here on the door. But it's just every once in a while I just get glimpses of things. I don't always see, animals per se like that.
hmm. Well, here's somewhat of a serious kind of question. Can magic alleviate things like if you were going through drug withdrawals, or if you had some kind of issue in your life like depression or any of those kind of things? Do you think that you could use magic and intentional work to help alleviate or heal yourself?
Oh yeah.
Yes and no. There's that thing that we all have to learn, and it's called a lesson.
That's true.
And if we
That's
use
true.
magic, I don't think we'll
Be
ever
careful what
learn.
you wish for. Be careful what you wish
So,
for.
watch, like Annie just said, watch your wishes, watch what you say, watch what you think. There are things that we have to learn if we're going to practice what we quote unquote are talking about. We're going to have to learn our lessons, and we just can't always mask them with magic. So that's a
And
yes and no.
there are some things, as you were saying, depression, drug addiction. Uh, you know what? I don't know. That's really, you know what? I
I think it would depend
The
on the
depression,
person
I
a lot.
believe, yes. The depression, I believe, absolutely yes. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of things that, you know what I mean? Whether it be my
Yeah.
rocks or something like that. Maybe not itself. How about that? I don't think it can do it by itself. It can do it in conjunction with. It might be the boost that something else needs.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Hmm.
So, can you teach us? Kind of running out of time here. It's 6:53. Do you guys think that you could teach us how to make moon water in just a couple minutes? And
Sure.
moon water is used for like
In a couple minutes.
yes,
Yeah,
is
I
moon
don't
water.
think you need a
Anything to
couple
add
minutes to
in?
explain moon
So,
water.
So personally, I prefer a mason jar. That way it's clean and there's no contaminants. Um, Fill it as full as you want, but I prefer about halfway. Um, and then
This is the
ground
jar.
down.
This is empty, but this is what I use.
Yeah. Uh, set your intentions, ground down. And, as you're grounding or as you're setting your intentions, just hold your water in your hand and set it in the moon. And me personally, I talk to the moon. I talk to her just about every night. And I say, please keep this water in your thoughts as you shine bright on us tonight. And then I get it first thing. in the
And that,
morning
I'm
and
sorry,
put it away.
I don't mean to interrupt, Betsy. Is that a full moon? Is that correct?
That
That
is
we
correct.
do
And
moon
I do
waters
mark,
when it is a full moon.
and I mark which full moon it is. Like for instance,
Yeah, you do.
the
Strawberry moon.
strawberry
Uh,
moon, or and then I also put what season, like if it's Maboon or Maboon. I can never pronounce them correctly, so y'all don't make fun of my accent.
oh, I'll make fun of your talk all day long. You know I will.
So
I'll
I
let you
try
have it
to
about
keep it going. Um, but right now it's a little tough for me. Like I said, I just moved and I'm still trying to figure out my place here and get my stuff together. So, but yeah, I still set my intentions daily. I still say my thank yous nightly, and I still
Yeah,
try to love wholeheartedly and openly. So
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
what I
Got
do.
it. The other question I wanted to ask you guys, I know we're almost out of time. We might run over just a few minutes. What does witchcraft and paranormal back to back? You guys do both, right? You take your witchcraft into paranormal investigations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does it make a difference with your investigating?
Yeah. I think so.
Yes and no. I'm just going to say it right now. Missouri State
Do it.
Penitentiary, where we just came from, threw me for a loop. I, I don't know. I'm still trying to find my mind from that place.
From what place? Missouri State?
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe, as I was saying, as far as witchcraft and all that stuff, absolutely. It's not that I'm going to walk through there and say spells or things. But again, things from nature that are here all the time that give energy. Don't think they don't. Has anybody ever done this for a minute?
Yeah.
Just tell somebody to do this and tell me what you feel. So yeah, I
Yeah.
believe, but we had a very Missouri State Penitentiary. We're still going through. We're going to slap a bunch of photos online because we would like everyone's opinion. We definitely caught a breath in death row, but oh yeah, we want everybody to, let's not even talk about what we think it is. We're gonna slap it
Yeah.
on there. But yeah, and she's still messed up. She's weird whenever she leaves places. She's weird.
I'm weird, period.
You're always.
So what do you guys have coming up, and where can people find you if they want to learn more about doing spell work and witchcraft and using just modern day equipment in your house?
Well, we're definitely on Facebook at Lotus Witch Paranormal and Research. And we're also on Instagram at Lotus Witch Paranormal. I'm currently working on TikTok and maybe a YouTube channel. But for now, just find us on Facebook and Instagram.
Or when we go places, we usually tell people that we're going to go because we want to meet everybody, meet as many people as we can. So next week, and we will be on the East Coast in Gettysburg, and Betsy and I are very much looking forward to hanging out on some battlefields. Very
Yeah.
much. I will take my shoes off. Betsy hates it when I do this. I take my shoes off. And
No,
go
I did it
stand there.
last year, so I
She
understand.
hates it when I do that. But the minute you do it, if you really, you'll feel it. I'm excited to go there. I can't wait for the history. Oh, it's going to be fabulous.
Are you going to do any kind of spell work at all while you're there on the battlefield?
No, I will be very respectful on the battlefields. Now, I will possibly do something pre-battlefield.
Oh, for
But
us.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm very respectful when I get on the battlefield. I had such a great response when I was there last year that I just kept it very respectful, very even keel. Didn't even think about it. I just went in as a good old Southern chick, and I did pretty good. So,
You did real good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to
So,
see you. Ladies.
Yeah,
I'm going to get to meet you, ladies, in Illinois pretty soon.
yes.
Rock
Well,
Island.
Rock Island. Yes, we're going to Rock Island, the haunted Rock Island Roadhouse. Let's see, Gettysburg. After that, I'm going to be at Michigan Paracon. Betsy and I, you're going to be in Louisiana on the 17th of August, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we're both and then we're both going to be in Wisconsin at the Great Lakes Paranormal Conference, and then I will be in Virginia City after Rock Island. I'm going to go to Virginia City, and you can always come see me. I'm thinking about trying to bring her along.
Let me know what date
you what?
Let me know what date you'll be there. I can go up there.
Okay, cool.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for taking the time to come speak to me.
Thank you for having us. I really had a great time.
Thank you. Yes.
So you've been listening to The Gateway. I'm your host, C.L. Thomas, your portal to the unexplained, the mythical, and the otherworldly, broadcast live from United Public Radio, 107.7 FM New Orleans. Until next time.